And Mona.
Today we have another hot new show, honey. The shows that, we're getting top artists to come in and be on the money. Last week we had Dr. Sori's in, and every week somebody's doing exciting. So our audience, our emails are coming in saying you got to get such and such, and people are coming from all around the country. But today we have a top name gospel artist from around the world. This brother,
yes.
He's thorough, but he's right here with us on the show.
Yes, and we're very, very excited that we have Mr. Donnie McClurkin here.
That's right.
And he's going to be talking to all of our creative audience that has a dream and a passion. And he's going to tune right into that passion of yours and that creativity. And he's going to give you some insight on what it takes to be successful.
He's going to talk about the wannabes and the gonna-bees.
Absolutely.
Oh, did you hear that? You hear that? Wannabes and the gonna-bees?
Yes.
So if you are a wannabe or a gonna-be, you better tune in. We'll be right back after this brief message.
This is the perfect first shampoo. Use this shampoo to thoroughly cleanse the hair from chlorine, bonding glue, dirt, gels, oils, and spritzes. It will lift any type of residue or surfactant from the hair. The apple pectin in the shampoo leaves hair squeaky clean without stripping the hair. Apply the clarifying shampoo directly to the hair or scalp while dry and let the lipophilic and hydrophilic molecules grab around the dirt, waxes, or gels and remove it from the hair. The Heavenly Hair Pomade is a daily moisturizer. This is a high gloss sheen for extra daily care with amino acids and proteins that are good for your hair. It also helps thinning hairlines and dry scalp.
Welcome back to On the Money with Mike and Mona. Honey, we have Donnie McClurkin here today.
Yes, we do, and I am so excited.
I tell you, people been texting us and emailing us on our Facebook. Y'all got Donnie McClurkin coming next week. So people were very excited about
yes, and we have
today's
several
broadcast.
questions from the audience. But first, before we ask any of the questions, I want to just first thank you for coming, Donnie.
Thanks,
we really
Donnie.
appreciate it. And I also want to ask you, how should we refer to you? As Donnie McClurkin, Pastor McClurkin, just Donnie? What would you prefer?
Donnie is my name. Oh my God, if you call me Donnie, I would love you forever.
Donnie, one of the questions that some of our listeners want to know is that most artists, once they get into gospel and they begin to really do well, and they then transfer over to the secular market. Why have you been so faithful to the gospel market?
Well, because number one, gospel music isn't a career choice. Gospel music is a lifestyle. Gospel music depicts our holy lifestyle and our holy relationship with a holy God. Mm-hmm. And it deals with every aspect of our lives: brokenness, struggle, love. It deals with every bit of it. For those people who start in gospel and go secular, I can't really account for their reasons or motives behind it, and I wouldn't speak ill of them because they've got that foundation. Mm-hmm. But for me and those likened unto me, our goal is to promote this God and this wonderful lifestyle of holiness through our music to a whole entire globe. Mm-hmm. So leaving it would never be a consideration. Where am I going to go? They've got enough people singing off songs. They've got enough people singing love songs. They've got enough people singing songs about life. I need to sing songs about something that can make you great, something that can heal your wounds, someone who can change your entire life.
Donnie, how do you balance family, faith, finance? You're on the road, you have a pastor, you're a father. How do you do it? The Bible says he gives us more grace. And the grace that he gives is the supernatural ability to do what you cannot do in the natural. Mm-hmm. So God graces me to be able to function. And even in the times where I fail to accomplish the totality of it, overall, God gives me the power and the ability to balance. And he puts people around me that are good for balance. My family, I've got a son. He's 11 years old, turned 11 a couple of days ago. He's a great young man, and he's got a great mother, wonderful mother. Now, she's not my wife, but I got a baby mama.
So he has baby mama drama too.
I got a baby mama.
What do you mean two?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. I don't have any kids. That's right.
What do you mean?
Oh, that's right. I do got 2 kids, but same woman. All right. Okay. All righty now. That's right. Hey, Donnie, back to you. Donnie, back to you, my brother. Okay. Brothers want to hear this part. How do you deal with that?
So we take care of him. We take care of him very well. My mom and my sisters and my brother, everybody's a close-knit family, so everybody pitches in. I love the way my family is close. We're all old now. The youngest of us is 40. And so we're all old now, but we're like, if we're one stage away from all living in the same house together and being happy, you know, that kind of tight family. And so God gives me the ability to balance my family along with my ministry and along with the finances. God gives all of this. I've got a brother-in-law who's a genius, Louis Malini, a genius. That Italian man is a genius. And he's more like a blood brother to me. So God has put people in my life to free me up to travel the world preaching the gospel, singing the gospel, and have everything at place at home when I come home.
Now, Donnie, what would you tell a young musician that wants to drop out of school to become a national recording artist just like yourself?
I tell them that they need a parent to stick foot to their tail. Excuse my language. They need a parent that would bust a hole in their chest. They need a parent that'll shake them until they have shaken child syndrome. They need a parent that'll twirl them like a baton, fling them up there and let them hit the ground until they get some sense. I'm very violent, aren't I? But they need a parent that will literally grab a hold of them and bring them back to reality, because it's easy for children to follow fantasy. It's easy for youth to follow fantasy. They are full of dreams. They're full of inspiration. They are full of power and strength and vitality, and they don't know how to expend all of it. So they go to the greatest extent of fantasy. I want to do this. I want to do this, and they have no clue of how life is. So that child would need a parent that would be able to grab a hold of the reins and pull that cart to a halt. Whoa!
But would you tell that child that education is important?
Oh yeah. Because there's no way in the world for them to get anything without it.
But even if they have a gift, because you know, when you talk about a gift, you're talking about someone who's talented in that area. So how about they have a gift?
Look, gifts and callings are a dime a dozen. A dime a dozen. You can sing up a storm. See, I'm from New York. So when I go to Manhattan, I see some real gifted people outside singing for money. Yeah, just to drop a couple of coins in a box. I see a whole lot of gifted musicians and talented. They play like crazy, but they're homeless and just trying to get something to keep them for a day. So gifts and talents mean nothing. Without education and without the proper guidance, you will run amok with all that gift. So that's what I teach the children. Your gift means that's secondary. We have to make sure that we make and build a better you. So that's what we do with the youth in our church.
Good.
We just had a conversation outside last night for about an hour with a young man who's very gifted and doesn't have a job. Very gifted and looks for his gift to make room for him singing like a troubadour from church to church. And my thing to him was, get a job, period. I got a job, I sing. Get a job. Do you have a degree? Yes, I have a degree. In music education, business administration, music education. I said, well, go and teach. Become a chorus teacher at school. Become a music teacher to some young people in school. I told him young black teachers, male teachers, young black male teachers are hard to come by. They're a rarity, and people are swooping them up as soon as you make yourself available. The education department is looking for you. So why don't you go and teach? Why don't you get a real job and make some real money that have some benefits like insurance and dental and medical? Why don't you build a life and stop all of this fantasy? You're too old, 26 years old. How much money do you make a year? I don't know, my mom takes it. Your mom at 26 years old, are you kidding me? Yeah. What, are you still breastfeeding too? My God, get yourself together, brother. Get out the house.
Donnie, I have to go here because I think that people want to know. Suppose their dream is not to become a teacher, but they desire to be where you are, because you know everyone desires to be on the big stage or to be in the marketplace and be known. And you know, what if their desire is not to be a teacher, but it's to give? How would you help them get to where you are? See, before you deal with the dream, you got to deal with reality. Okay. If you're living your dream, then the bottom line is you're living in fantasy. Okay. And he said, that's not my passion. The teacher's not my passion. I said, do you think starting from 7 o'clock in the morning, all these millions of cars that are going to be on the freeway, do you think these people are driving to their passion? They are driving to their job that they can get some money to eat and keep their house up and keep their lights going. It's not about passion, it's about responsibility. Yes. And when we teach people this kind of, pipe dream that, follow your passion, follow your dream, sure, but stay in touch with reality too. Because before your dream comes about, you better have something in place that will hold you over. Because you'll be with a sign under a bridge talking about we'll work for food, trying to follow a dream. And that's what I try to teach them. Get a job. Even if you don't like the job, get a job. Work that job. Show that you have some work ethics that'll help make your dream become true. Because if you don't have work ethics now,
you won't have it then.
Your dream will die. Because when you get there, you're going to sit back and think it's going to be on autopilot, and it's not. Everything that they see us do musically, they only see the finished product. They don't see the true work and the grueling tasks that goes along with perfecting this thing. So they keep the eye on the glamour and the glitz, and the eyes are full of stars. And I want that, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to travel the world. I'm going to be like you. Oh, you are?
And these are the things that they don't even see. So working day and night at the airport, all these things, you know, those are things that people don't even get an opportunity to see.
They don't see what it takes in order to organize this, in order to keep this running. You're doing this with several people. You've got people you've got to pay, you've got to take care of them, you've got to make sure that your integrity stays in place. You got, no matter what you're going through personally, you still don't have the luxury of dealing with that now because you are a public figure. People don't understand. You lose all of your obscurity and you lose your anonymity. Bishop Jakes told me one thing. He said, Donnie, the one thing that you may be a lot of things to everybody. They may say a lot of things about you. Donnie is this, Donnie is this. You may be all of that. And they may judge you harshly and they may say you are this and that. But the one thing you will never be again is anonymous. And you lose all of your privacy and you lose your anonymity. And they don't see this. They just see us as the iconic figures that I want to be like until they get there. Right. And if they're not prepared by being in real life situations beforehand, like a job, like education, like making sure you get all your ducks in a row, then when they get there, it's going to be just a pipe dream. Do you know there are over 20,000 people that are recording gospel music? Wow. And you'll never hear their names. You'll never know them.
You're right, Donnie. I mean, I never thought about it, but you know, it's that everyday grind. It takes going to work when you don't want to, answering the call that you don't want to, going to work day after day after day after day, and doing the things that you don't want to do. So you're absolutely right.
As an entrepreneur, you understand that you have to have a certain business acumen in order to be successful.
Yes.
And you've got to work hard.
Yes.
And this is one thing that the gospel music industry is not used to doing, is working hard. Everybody's recording, going into their own little studios, putting together a little tape and think that this is going to be good and somebody's going to hear it and I'm going to be discovered. Oh, yay. But they need to talk to people like Kirk Franklin, who is a workaholic. They need to talk to people like Yolanda Adams and CeCe Winans.
There's not but 24 hours in a day. So what type of hours do you put in?
There is no such thing as a consistent or set amount of hours. There are times, like with this conference that we're doing now, you stay up until it's done. And then when everybody else goes home, you're still doing the after work, the post-production works. There is no specific set hours. Oh my God, I wish there were. Oh my God, I wish there was a time clock to punch so this I can start at this time and finish at this Fashulgana time and go home like everybody else. But we got in the car last night and I looked at my manager and said, why am I always the last guy leaving the building and this is my conference? Because I got to make sure everything is done. And I mean, we'll sit in the studio for 15, 20 hours straight for one day, not even finish one song. And we'll do this for a month, for 2 months, 3 months, sit for 20 hours in the studio, go home just to catch 2 hours of sleep, 3 hours of sleep, eat, come back and go at it all over again.
You know, this is what young people need to know.
This is exciting to them when they first start because, you know, it's new. Yes. But when this becomes the yearly grind, you know, balancing the part that's all musician with the part that's strictly presentation, balancing the money with the mission till you get the perfect orchestration. Even if you do have the suspicion that it's taking all your concentration, the art of making art is putting it together. That's a song from Barbra Streisand. Know it, learn it. No. And that's what they need to know. It takes a lot to make this work.
Don't go anywhere. Stay right there. Stay right there. We're coming right back after this brief message.
Top-selling authors Michael and Ramona Woods released 2 books, Living in the Wealthy Place and Get the World Out. The Woods are best known for their unique motivational speaking and hosting TV show On the Money with Mike and Mona. For only $26.95, you can get both copies today of Living in the Wealthy Place and Get the World Out. Call 1-800-327-4823. 800-327-4823.
The High Gloss Curl Wax is a great heat protector. It can be used before pressing, curling, or styling the hair to give extra hold and shine. Use small amounts as the products are highly concentrated. Rub it through your hands, then work it into the hair before styling. Men can even use the curl wax for a brush up to create deep waves with high sheen.
Welcome back to On the Money as we continue our wonderful exclusive interview with Donnie McClurkin.
I tell you, it's been awesome.
Donnie, how has the internet affected your business and the ability to sell more records?
Well, you know, it's affected everybody in the music industry, everybody in the entertainment industry, from movies to music, everything. Because the bootleg and the pirating is so, it's so replete, it is everywhere. Yes. But there are faithful people. There are faithful people who don't want the bootleg, who don't want the piracy. And of course it cuts into our profit share. Of course it cuts into our, our livelihood. But the bottom line is the gospel being heard. whether it's bought or whether it's bootlegged. The gospel's being heard. Now, it may hurt me financially a little bit, but as long as somebody who stole that gospel music, thieves, as long as they stole the gospel music, maybe that gospel music will cause them not to steal anymore. If you're watching me, stop it. Just stop it.
Y'all heard it. The bootlegging is over. Let's stop the bootlegging and the piracy. All right? Bootlegging and piracy is over with. You heard it straight from Donnie. All right? Let's get him to stop right now, Donnie.
Just stop.
Stop it. Now, Donnie, this has been an awesome interview, and I think people are really going to get a lot of information out of what we've talked about so far. But, On the Money is about talking about family, faith, and finances. So let's get into some of the financial side of it. What advice would you give those people that are aspiring to move to the level of entertainment that you're in right now? What financial advice would you give them?
Oprah told me one thing. She said, Donnie, no, not a check goes out without it coming across my desk first. She says, I sign every one of them. And she said, you got to take control of your finances. You must take control of your finances. You have to be responsible. Now, the management can help you out and they can give you the right accounting and, the whole 9 yards. But my greatest mistake and now my greatest lesson learned was allowing things to happen without my knowledge. And then I didn't want to be a control freak because I am the control freak's control freak. I micromanage. I'm in every bit of it. And it gets on people's nerves and doesn't allow people to do. So when it came to that, I'm going to trust. But then it gets to the point where you can't afford to do that any longer. So I got some good accountant and sat down and understood how not to spend all my money. So I don't live in a mansion. I don't live in a big, huge, gigantic home. I could, but I don't. I don't drive a luxury car. I don't even have a car right now. I could, but I don't. Right. It's more important to me to make sure that my money is working and it's going to bring about something more. I don't have Social Security, so I had to make a retirement fund and make sure that everything that we do is designated to the different things that are going to cause my monies to work for the long haul. So I've got to have these different savings and these different money markets and these different retirement funds and all of this stuff in place. That's the part that people don't want to do. Artists want to spend their money. They want to wear their money. They want to drive their money. They want to walk into their money. Big, gigantic, sprawling house. But see, we have people like MC Hammer and them that did the same thing, and now they're living from hand to mouth. So when you don't have that correct mentality concerning money, you will squander the blessing that you have. Squander.
Now, Donnie, what if you could please share with our viewing audience what's the price that you've had to pay in order to experience the level of success that you're enjoying now?
Well, it's not really a bad price because, like I said, God gives you the grace for it. So the renown is balanced by the grace of God that gives you the power to handle this. The pull of the people and the esteem of the people is very great. It hits you at times when you don't want to handle it. It impedes upon your privacy. But the bottom line is God's called me to this. So I don't mind people knowing me. I don't mind people stopping me. I don't mind people pushing me through a crowd because the people are trying to throng you. I don't mind it. I don't mind smiling at people and hugging them and kissing their hands and the whole 9 yards because I love making people feel good. I love people to feel like there's a sense of some kind of happiness or joy just because they've been acknowledged. I never understood the mentality of divas, and I know it's hard when you got everybody pulling on you and there's only one of you and they have such demands for your just a moment of your time. Just a moment. Right. And they don't know that there's 1,000 people behind them saying, I need a moment too, just a moment. And as pastor and as recording artist, it has its pull. It has its, it stresses you out at times, but you just take a moment to recoup and you go at it again. In the airports, all you have to do is say hi. Oh my God, Donnie McClurkin, hi. Hey, how you doing as you keep on walking? We were walking through Manhattan, and my dad, my sister, her kids, and a young man, Marcus. And Marcus is 17. And we were walking down the streets of Manhattan, and everybody was stopping us because it was a great day. Everybody was stopping us, and group came out of a matinee show on Broadway, and oh my God, Donnie McClurkin. And literally, 2 policemen had to walk me across the street. And the guy Marcus was like, dog, I hate being you, man. It's been 20 minutes, we can't get to Olive Garden because everybody's stopping us. That's a part and parcel of it. And I love it. And you just say hi and you keep on going. And then when you don't want it to happen anymore, you go home and you close the door and you turn on your 62-inch screen television and you watch Cartoon Network until you fall asleep. That's how I get away when I don't want it.
Donnie, I have really enjoyed you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. It's my pleasure. My pleasure altogether, and I wish you great success.
And Donnie, we look forward to you being on Black Network Television and On the Money with Mike and Mona. We really thank you. We know our viewers, they're already texting us and emailing us as well, different questions that we want to ask, and we don't have enough time today to get to all the questions, but we just want to just say to continue to do what you do. Continue to just go out there and use your gift, because this has been awesome. So thank you so very much for joining us with On the Money with Mike and Mona.
Well, listen, it would be my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Don't go anywhere. Stay right there. Stay right there. We're coming right back after this brief message.
This is a moisturizing treatment that softens the hair and increases its elasticity. It is a moisturizing conditioner that works great on dry, brittle, chemically processed, or natural hair. Apply conditioner to the hair. Comb through. Put on a plastic cap. Sit under the dryer for about 10 minutes on low heat to open up the pores. Remove the cap, then rinse out with cool water. Our 3-in-1 dandruff shampoo has a bactericide, fungicide, and an antiseptic that tackles dandruff that is underneath the hair follicle, on the scalp bed, and even on the hair shaft. Use this shampoo to combat and remove both oily or dry dandruff. For dry dandruff, use a small amount of hair oil with the dandruff shampoo during your application. Apply shampoo directly to the scalp using the bottle or an applicator brush. Let sit on the hair for 5 minutes before wetting. Lather and rinse. Repeat if needed. Follow with an ashtray conditioner.
Donnie covered so many different points, Ramona.
Yes,
I thought
he
they were
did.
just absolutely fabulous. And I know our viewers are already texting us and emailing us as well and going to our Facebook account. And they're posting about this interview. And I think it's been really, really good to see such an outpour. Because, I mean, if we recap and talk about some of the things, there were about 5 things that I think that people can really draw from this. There are many more, but we'll take 5 and see if we can use that as a bullet.
I think the one that is going to help me a lot, especially when I go and speak to young kids, is the dreaming part. That it's okay to dream, and we want you to dream, but in the dreaming process, you still have to live a reality.
Yeah. And he talked about that as well, as far as the importance of education.
Yes.
You know, sometimes people discount education, think that they can really just get there because they know someone, but education is the foundation for their success. So
Yes.
we encourage you to also look at education very seriously and place that time in sharpening your educational skill sets.
Yes, and then the third thing I got was get a job.
Wow.
Get a job to
But why
finance.
did he say get a job?
Get a job to finance your dream. And that's how you stay in touch with reality.
That's good, because at the same token, if you have a rent to pay and like you can't just go chasing your dream without
Right.
having the finances to be able to support that, because it's going to take finances.
Yes, it
Anytime
does.
there's going to be a sacrifice, and that sacrifice is going to be financial to a large extent to get to where you're trying to go, where you're aspiring to go. So
Yes.
I thought that was quite important. But the work ethic they talked about, most people really don't know. I mean, he really just talked about the number of hours that he puts in order to make his dream sustainable and continue this journey that he's on.
Yes, and you gotta ask yourself, am I dreaming to be what I'm dreaming because I want to work less? Because if that's the case, then you need to change the dream.
Correct, because the dreaming is going to actually require you to work more.
Absolutely.
That's
Yes.
good. That's good. And the
Yes.
last point I wanted to make was he talked about a support system.
Yes.
Having a great support system. So as we leave you with these tips, because you have people around you who can just really shield you from some of the the things that you're going to go through.
Right.
But one thing I liked about the fact that he enjoyed the journey.
Yes, he's
And he
enjoying
enjoyed it.
the
He's
journey.
enjoying the journey.
Yes,
Correct.
and he has a wonderful support system, someone that can handle his finance, someone that can help him with his son, so on and so forth. So support system, very important.
Very important. So, Donnie, we want to thank you again. Thank our viewers, because one, with On the Money with Mike and Mona, we're about showcasing family, faith, and finance to help you have, create more balance in those areas. So, it's been another hot show, and we're saying tune in to On the Money with Mike and Mona. But go ahead.